All right, boys.
The heat wave is beginning to wind down, as is the summer of 2022. We are approaching the last few weeks of summer up until Labor Day, which is the unofficial end of summer. And I checked the mic and it damn sure sounds right, boy. And that could only mean that it's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, Smell that? Oh, God, do you smell that? You know what that is right there? That is the smell of excellence. Wait for it. No, wait for it. To mankind, and this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, August 13th, 2022. Woo! Got a little extra pep in my step right now. I'm actually on vacation from work. So I got the next week off. Gonna relax, gonna sleep in, maybe go and check out the mall, see if they got any new wrestling merch at Hot Topic. Maybe go and see the new Jordan Peele movie. Be doing a lot of stuff over the course of this break. I definitely need it because work has been absolutely horrid, especially this week. Feels like some always breaks over there. The life of a national accounts analyst is not an easy one, ladies and gentlemen. But I enjoy me some pro wrestling. DJ Storms is obviously the top of the line here in the IWC. We got a few people joining on in so far. We got Further AM, Final Hoss, and DJ Sums. So shout out to them. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some more people as the stream goes on, but we certainly have a lot of material to discuss in depth here on the Lightning Flash update. And I greatly appreciate every single one of you taking the time out of your day to stop by and listen to your boy rant and rave and be a little bit more positive now, because the landscape of wrestling, it's a very nice landscape. I'm liking what wrestling is giving us right now across all platforms, especially WWE and AEW. They're putting out some pretty decent fucking material, and we're going to dissect everything that took place over the course of this past week. A couple of announcements, though. Hoolagrim's also in the chat, so shout out to Hoolagrim. Shout out to Hoolagrim. Mitch Kofsky, unfortunately, is not in the chat, so there's no one to tell me that I'm the best in the business. I mean, I bet you guys could do that as well, but, you know, Mitch Kofsky, he's always coming in clutch with that. If you guys could just throw it out there that I'm the best in the business. I would greatly appreciate that because no one is better than DJ Storms. Absolutely. There we go. There we go. There's Mitch. There's Mitch. There's Mitch. There he is. I was wondering when you were going to show up, bro. Seriously. There you go. There's Mitch Kofsky, just reminding everyone who the top of the line is. We have a lot to discuss. A lot of news, a lot of rumors, a lot of reports, a couple weekly shows. I just want to let everyone know that next week I am not going to be doing the LFU next Saturday. I want to take some vacation. What's going on over here? What's going on over here? What's going on over here? My camera's going on and off now. I don't know what the fuck's going on over here. Hopefully, we should not have any more technical difficulties. Little botch over there. But I'm not going to be doing the stream next week. I'm not going to be doing the stream next Saturday, specifically because of the fact that I am on vacation. I want to take the week off. I'm not going to be taking really any notes during the weekly shows throughout the week. I just need a day to sleep in, just need a day to myself. I have to get some stuff done. I got to frame some pictures and dust my room, clean the pad, maybe get a car wash. I got to make a deposit from the bank because I'm fucking loaded. You already know what I mean. But I got errands to run. So no LFU next Saturday. I will be back in action the following Monday on August 22nd. I'll be taking my notes as per usual for Monday Night Raw on August 22nd, going into that Saturday, which I believe is August 27th. And I am going to be doing the LFU then. However, next week I will be streaming on the Hardcore Sports channel with Mitch Kofsky. So shout out to Mitch Kofsky in the chat. Mitch Kofsky is graciously inviting me on his channel and his show where we are doing an AEW Dynamite watch-along. So next Wednesday from 8 to 10, me and Mitch will be doing the AEW Dynamite watch-along. We are going to be talking about the Trios Championship Tournament. We're going to be talking about the major news of potentially Kenny Omega coming back. We're going to be talking about Moxley and Punk and their collision course. We're going to be talking about where the Gun Club could be headed. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We could be talking about that Match of the Year candidate from Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, that 2 out of 3 falls match. I am very much looking forward to that. So I will be on Mitch Kofsky's Dynamite Watch Along next Wednesday, August 17th at 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. No LFU next Saturday. However, next Friday, though, for those here in New Jersey, there is an ISPW event, Independent Superstars of Pro Wrestling. It's going to be in Butler, New Jersey at St. Anthony Church Gym. And it is ISPW Summertime Blues. And the main event is a TLC match. The Birds of the Sun, Leo Sparrow and GKM. They're going to be taking on Vic Delicious and Hale Collins, the Now. And they will also be taking on Percival Payne and Crowbar. It is a triple threat tag team match for the ISPW tag team titles contested under TLC rules. And that is going to be a chaotic fucking match. Cannot wait for that. We also have a world title match with Trax and Justin Carino, Gabby Ortiz and Vicious Vicky for the women's championship in a no-holds-barred match. Dave LaGreca is also managing Rick Recon against Bull James for the Tri-State Championship. So we got a lot of good material coming for ISPW next Friday, August 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Butler, New Jersey. If you're going, I will be there. Come say hi. I'll give you a wristband, take a picture, all sorts of shit. But that's next Friday. We are live here today. And if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure that you follow me on social media. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS. Please go check out both my Twitter and Instagram. You can add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure you do that. Please make sure that if you haven't already done so, that you like the official DJ Storms business page. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Apache group on Facebook, that is. All of those links will be in the description, as well as the link towards the rewind for AEW Battle of the Belts Part Number 3, which was a very solid show for the 1 hour that we got. We got 2 very good matches, a little bit of a disappointing match with Wardlow and Jay Lethal, but they are building towards the second match, so I let it slide. But the main event of that show, 20 minutes of Claudio and Konosuke Takeshita, excellent fucking match. Please go rewatch that match if you haven't already rewatched that match. Excellent stuff right there from those 2 men. Also, I was on the Wrestling Experience with Mr. Earl Cole, where we streamed live on 7 different platforms. We even streamed live right here on the DJ Storms channel. So that right there was a nice surprise for me, a nice homage to me. Shout out to Earl Cole. Earl is great. Earl is a great guy. Earl's a very, very, very down-to-earth individual. He's a very intellectual individual when it comes to professional wrestling. I very much respect that about him. And we had a great time. We talked about AEW, Dynamite, Quake by the Lake. So I will not be talking about it here. If you do want my thoughts and you want my analytical perspective on everything that happened on Dynamite, Quake by the Lake, please go and check that out. The link is in the description of this stream. You can check it out after the stream is over. If you haven't already done so, people, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You need to like the video, like the stream. Let me check. How many likes do we got on the Hardcore Sports stream right now? We got 6. We got 6 likes on the Hardcore Sports stream. I think we could do a little bit better than that. How many likes do we got on my stream? We're going to check. We're going to check this shit right now. My stream, we have 8. We can do a hell of a lot better than that, people. So here's what I need y'all to do. If you're watching on my channel, go over to the Hardcore Sports channel, like it on the Hardcore Sports channel. And if you're on the Hardcore Sports channel, go over to my channel, like it on my channel. We are streaming live on 6 different platforms across 4 different platforms, or excuse me, 6 accounts, 4 platforms. 6 accounts, 4 platforms. We're streaming live on the Hardcore Sports Twitch channel right down at the bottom right there, Hardcore Sports 1. You can also follow them at Hardcore Sports Network on Instagram. We're streaming live on the Hardcore Sports Twitter as well, at Hardcore Sports N. And then we're streaming live on the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel right here, Hardcore Sports Network. Go check out all of those links in the description. We're streaming live on the DJ Storms Posse Facebook group page as well. Please make sure if you haven't already liked on the Facebook group, like on the Facebook group, like on my Twitter, like on the Hardcore Sports Twitter, retweet the stream on Twitter as well, so that way we can get a larger outreach. And of course, share out the YouTube stream on all different platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, any platform that you may be using. And of course, get as many people in here as possible. Everybody needs a little dose of DJ Storms in their life. Hit the subscribe button on both YouTube channels, so that way it helps me out and it helps the Hardcore Sports brand out, because we're looking to make Hardcore Sports the place to be. Hardcore Sports is going to be the place to be for any and all sports analytical takes. Please make sure you do that. And of course, hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube, because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here and this picture-perfect slick back black pompadour. Give me 1 second, because we about to light it up right here, live across 4 platforms on 6 different accounts. We're going to light up a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like Campbell's soup, oh, I'm so good. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. You already know the drill. You already know the drill. Hologram already knows the drill. When the comb comes out, I mean fucking business. Okay? Okay. Anyway, give me 1 second. DJ Sums, you already know the drill. Where are you? Where are you? There you go. There you go. DJ Sums, he knows the drill right there. Whenever the comb comes out, we go into Campbell's soup mode. But let me tell you something. I'm much more delectable than Campbell's soup ever was. Anyway. DD's also in the chat. Shout out to the Final Hoss 2. Anyway. Let's get into the festivities here on the Lightning Flash update. Let's talk about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens recently made his return to Monday Night Raw after a few weeks away. This past Monday, where he took out Ezekiel. Fightful Select recently reported that nothing was said about Kevin Owens being injured. Kevin Owens has not wrestled in about a month and a half. And people were speculating, was Kevin Owens injured? He wasn't at Money in the Bank. He wasn't at SummerSlam. Was Kevin Owens injured? The answer is no. However, there are some rumors of Triple H cooking up big plans for him forward. So that right there is some really, really, really good material to hear about, because Kevin Owens right now is one of the most underutilized individuals in the WWE, especially this year. This year, Kevin Owens has been wasting away doing absolutely nothing. He has lost and lost and lost every big match that he's been given. He lost in the WWE Championship Fatal 5-Way at day one. He failed to win the Rumble. He wasn't even on the Elimination Chambers card. He lost to Stone Cold in the main event of WrestleMania 38, night number 1. And then he's been stuck in a feud with Ezekiel for 3 straight fucking months, maybe even longer than that. So, Kevin Owens, he's pretty much been wasting away doing nothing, especially after he signed a 3-year fucking deal for this company. He doesn't have to be the world champion, but I mean, utilize him in a meaningful fucking way. This guy signed his life, he signed his soul to you at the expense of his career to help his family and provide money for his family, and you can't even throw him a little bit of scraps? Now that Triple H is in control, now we're going to start to see NXT Kevin Owens come back. And this is exactly what we need, especially with what happened on Monday. NXT Kevin Owens is coming back. The Kevin Owens that didn't give a shit about anything or anyone. He's going to go out there and he's going to absolutely destroy anyone and everyone in his path, because that is what Kevin Owens is all about and should be all about, period. However, the one thing that's concerning for me is they really established Kevin Owens as a heel on Monday. Kevin Owens does not need to be a heel. Kevin Owens should not be a heel. Kevin Owens has gone as far as he can go as a heel. We need Kevin Owens going over to SmackDown, teaming with Sami Zayn as a babyface duo, taking the titles off of the Usos at Clash at the Castle. Now, I do believe that that's where they're headed. I really do believe that that's where they're headed, but it doesn't really seem like it based on what happened on Monday. Maybe it's all just a red herring, and maybe Kevin Owens is going to end up turning babyface and going to SmackDown to team with Sami. That could definitely happen, but I don't know. I don't know about heel Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens, and I know for a fact Triple H is going to put all the effort that he possibly can into Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens does not need to be a heel anymore. Sami Zayn shouldn't be a heel either. Sami and Kevin Owens both need to be baby faces. They both need to change a pace. They both need to change character, and they both need to win the tag team championships, and they finally need to be in a position where they're looked at as credible, relevant individuals, because they haven't been in years. Sami Zayn's been a glorified jobber. Kevin Owens has been doing legitimately nothing. He hasn't won a championship in 5 years in the WWE. 5 years. That don't sit well with me at all. But Triple H cooking up some big plans for Kevin Owens. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Another thing to keep an eye on, according to fightfans.co.uk, they reported, according to a rumor from Zero News, I'm guessing that's a UK news site, Triple H wants to bring back a former NXT UK superstar. Triple H is currently looking to bring back Tegan Knox, who was fired back in November of last year. Good. Tegan Knox needs to be brought back because the WWE Women's Division is in dire need of help. especially with the tag team title tournament that's been going on and the horrendous matches that we've been getting on Raw and SmackDown with the women, especially considering the majority of them can't wrestle for shit. The women's division right now needs as much help as it can get, and bringing Tegan Nox back would abso-fucking-lutely help that division. Put her on SmackDown, and you got yourself a nice solid babyface to challenge Shayna Baszler after she should win the SmackDown Women's Championship against Liv Morgan. Tegan Nox needs to get back on WWE TV, and she needs to go to SmackDown. That women's division needs all the help that it can get. I got some reports on some injuries. Ringside News actually reported 2 injuries that took place over the course of last weekend. The first one comes from an NXT Live event. Tatum Paxley. Now, if you don't know who that is, she's been teaming with Ivy Nile as of lately on NXT 2.0. Tatum Paxley was wrestling Sloane Jacobs, and the ref actually stopped the match after she was kicked in the face and her chin hit the ring post. The fans at the event noted that it appeared she broke her nose, but Tatum Paxley did clarify on social media that she would be okay. Not sure how long the recovery period is going to take, but if she says that she's okay, then more likely than not, she's going to be okay. Carmella was another one that got injured. In North Charleston, South Carolina, there was a triple threat match with Carmella, Asuka, and Bianca Belair. Carmella went for a powerbomb of sorts, and it looks like she slipped, and she may have pulled something in her knee. I think it may have been her right knee, because according to fans, the referee threw up the X sign, and that right there is the most deadly of signs that can be thrown up by a professional wrestling referee if you are a professional wrestler. That means the match is over and you could be out for an extended period of time. So I don't know what happened there, but I hope Carmella is okay. I hope Tatum Paxley's okay. With NXT, it just goes to show you that this new edict from NXT needs to end. We need to get every single individual who's not ready for TV back in the PC. They need to fucking train, and we need to get all established independent professional wrestlers. We need to get established professional wrestlers back on NXT television, and they need to be showcased on NXT. Apollo Crews should be showcased on NXT. Braun Breaker should be showcased on NXT. Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, they should be showcased on NXT. People like that. People like Mandy Rose. She's fine to be showcased on NXT. Roxanne Perez, she should be showcased on NXT. Zoe Stark should be showcased on NXT. Everyone else who's not in their league, that's not Cameron Grimes, that's not Solo Sikoa, that's not Tony D'Angelo, that's not Santos Escobar, they need to be taken off of TV immediately. Absolutely immediately. Now, Carmella's a different story because she didn't botch, she's not inexperienced. Shit just happens. Shit just happens, and at the end of the day, injuries will occur. This isn't fucking ballet. I just hope that Carmella's okay. I got a report regarding Lacey Evans. Sean Rossap of Fightful, he reported that WWE never had any solid direction for Lacey Evans' character upon her return. No shit. No shit. Sean Rossap stated, those we spoke to said that Evans was a personal favorite of Vince McMahon, who was very hands-on and worked directly with Evans as she came to Raw. However, we were told that her return this year was chaotic and directionless as played out on TV. I mean, tell me something I don't know. This goes to show you just how ridiculous, just how out of touch, just how brain dead Vince McMahon and his crew was. It goes to show you just how fucking retarded they were. They brought Lacey Evans back simply because Lacey Evans was a fan of Vince McMahon, or Vince McMahon was a fan of her, and Vince McMahon had Lacey Evans on his good list. Man, I wonder why. Because she had big fucking tits, a big ass, and she was blonde. So, there you go. There you go. That's exactly why they brought Lacey Evans back to television. They brought Lacey Evans back to television because Vince McMahon got a hard-on seeing Lacey Evans on TV in those tight military cargo pants. There was no return for Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans right now is probably one of the worst professional wrestlers in the women's wrestling industry right now. There's no value in Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans started off decent in NXT. She was pulled from NXT way too early. The character sucked. She got worse in the ring as time went on. And in the end, Lacey Evans became a complete waste of space. She became the female Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin is even better than Lacey Evans in terms of an in-ring perspective. At least Baron Corbin can put on a good match. I haven't seen Lacey Evans put on a good match since she's been on the main roster. I love Triple H. I love Triple H, but there are certain things that are not meant to be. Certain things that are not meant to be. And we're going to talk about it even more when we get to the Women's Tag Team Championship title segment. Lacey Evans is not meant to be in the WWE. She's not meant to be in any pro wrestling industry. Let her go to Impact. Let Lacey Evans go to fucking Impact and stink up the joint over there. No one gives a fuck about Impact anyway. No one watches Impact Pro Wrestling. So who the fuck is going to care if Lacey Evans is over in that women's division? They got some great women in that division, but no one gives a fuck about Impact. Impact is a dead brand. NXT is in the same fucking boat as Impact Pro Wrestling. No one gives a shit about it. Just let Lacey Evans go. I hate to see anyone get fired, but there's legit no role for her. There's no role for her. Send her back down to NXT. Put her in the PC. Put her in the PC. And make her work on her craft until she gets shit down right. If you don't want to fire her, put her in the PC. Leave her there until she's ready, because she is not fucking ready. There is no improvement coming from Lacey Evans at all. Of course it was directionless. Of course it was chaotic. It was Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard's idea. Anything related to Bruce and Vince is going to be chaotic and directionless. Just wait till you hear about what was going to happen to Gunther if Triple H never took over. Just wait. Speaking of Triple H, Fightful Select also reported that sources told them not to expect Triple H to step off of the gas pedal anytime soon as he reshapes the roster. Jerry Jarrett, according to sources, longtime wrestling promoter, who I believe may be the father of Jeff Jarrett, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know completely for sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But Jerry Jarrett, longtime wrestling promoter, reported that Triple H had a meeting with the entire crew explaining things are going to be done a different way now that we got professional wrestling, not sports entertainment. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's what I keep on saying. Sports entertainment needs to fucking die. It needs to die. There's nothing wrong with a little comedy here and there. There's nothing wrong with a little entertainment here and there, but the core focus of a professional wrestling company should be professional wrestling. It's not really that hard. The dots connect quite easily. You don't associate pro wrestling with sports entertainment. With Vince McMahon, you might, because Vince McMahon has just shoved that shit down everyone's throats for years now, and Vince McMahon has pretty much tarnished the great name of pro wrestling. Why do you think AEW hasn't been at the top of their game in terms of ratings as of lately? Why do you think they can't peak 1 million ratings? It's because Vince McMahon has had AEW fighting an uphill battle from the beginning, because Vince McMahon tarnished pro wrestling. AEW is making pro wrestling cool again, and they did for the time being until Triple H took over. Now that Triple H has taken over, now Triple H and Tony Khan can work hand in hand to rejuvenate the love and the passion that many of us have for professional wrestling. Good. Fuck sports entertainment. If you or anyone, if anyone is going to come out here and try and defend sports entertainment, you need to find yourself a new hobby. You need to check yourself into a mental asylum ASAP. Retardation is not allowed here in the IWC. Although it's quite fucking sad because the majority of people in this community are fucking retarded as it is. Grimm's Toy Show's a fucking retard. Brian Zane's a fucking retard. Ryan Satin's a fucking retard. Even Sean Ross Sapp can be a little retarded at times. But I'm actually warming up to Sean Ross Sapp just a little bit. Especially after the scenario that took place during Flair's last match with that fucking troll from Twitter. I actually respect Sean Ross Sapp just a little bit more. So I'm actually going to go easy on him. I actually like what Sean Ross Sapp's been doing as of lately. But the majority of people in this community, fucking retards. Dank Ops, he's a fucking loser. He's a WWE dick. He's been a WWE dick rider for years. He's a retard. Disco Inferno, retard. Eric Bischoff, retard. Jim Cornette's a fucking... He's always been a fucking retard, Jim Cornette. Bruce Pritchard, retard. Vince Russo, retard. All of them. All of them are fucking retards. So, unfortunately, retardation is praised here in the IWC. I'm trying to break that mold. A lot of people are trying to break that mold. Intelligence needs to be praised. Retardation needs to be damned. Unfortunately, there is always going to be people that are going to buy into whatever those retards that I named are saying. However, the fact that Triple H is putting forth professional wrestling, this is a great thing because now we'll start to see what the WWE can truly be. What the WWE can truly be now that Triple H is in control. He's bringing back a lot of people. He's building a great fucking roster as it is, and he's making do with what he's been given quite well. The rosters right now are fucking depleted, but he has made do with what he's been given quite fucking well. So I respect him for that. And the core focus of everything is pro wrestling. Look at how much wrestling we got on Monday Night Raw. Look at the storyline development that we got on SmackDown. The seriousness that we got on SmackDown. We'd never see this serious under Vince McMahon. We'd never see this level of severity under Vince McMahon. We'd never seen this level of focus if Bruce Pritchard was still running the show. Sooner rather than later, Kevin Dunn's going to be out of there. This is a great thing. Good. I don't want him to step off the gas. He shouldn't step off the gas. Keep that shit going. Keep that shit cranking. Keep that shit cranking. Push that gas pedal all the way through the bottom of the fucking car until we get to where we need to get. And we are going to get there sooner rather than later. Very, very pleased to hear that. Mike Johnson. This was actually a phenomenal piece of news here. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported John Laurinaitis has been quietly let go from WWE. So, unfortunately, for me at least, there's no more Johnny 5 packs of cigarettes joke. So I guess one more time, for old time's sake, my name is Mr. John Laurinaitis. I am now the former Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, and I am very disappointed to tell you that in WWE, there will be no more people power. Goodbye, John Laurinaitis, and never fucking come back. Never come back. Goodbye. John Laurinaitis is gone. Now the women's division can be booked properly. Now, and it has been. For the short amount of time that Triple H has been in charge, it has been being booked properly. The matches haven't really been all that impressive, minus Bianca and Io. But women are starting to get more time. The focus is starting to come to light. The spotlight has been on the women's division. NXT is actually going to get a spotlight as well, starting next week with Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark, getting a match against Sonya and Natalya. So, good on them. Good on them. Goodbye, John Laurinaitis. And hopefully the door hit him real hard on the way out. This right here is a rather interesting piece of news. And a lot of people have been coming up with various theories. There's been numerous conspiracy theories about Vince McMahon still running the WWE from the shadows. A few weeks ago, top sources actually provided an update on this. According to Fightful, Vince McMahon is not in any way running the company from the shadows, and he actually has limited access to WWE facilities at this time. PW Insider added that Vince is not involved in any official company role beyond owning the majority of company stock, and he cannot legally hire or fire anyone. And especially after the news that came out from WrestlingNews.co that apparently officials discovered an extra $5 million that went missing from company money that Vince McMahon actually used to pay off whoever he was paying to keep hush regarding sexual allegations and allegations of misconduct. So right there, that just adds fuel to the fire. The more shit like this comes out, the more Vince McMahon will be away from WWE and will potentially stay away from WWE forever. This is a great thing. So now they have confirmed everything. He is not in any official role in the company beyond owning the majority of the company stock. Because let's be real, that's the only reason why he's still as rich as he is, because he owns the majority of the company stock. So at the end of the day, Vince McMahon is going to make his money regardless. I guess maybe he realized, you know what? I don't need to do this shit anymore. But maybe Vince McMahon really is going to be away forever. Because at this rate, more shit keeps on coming out, the deeper the hole Vince McMahon is in right now becomes. And the fact that he's not involved in any major role in the WWE right now, he can't legally hire or fire anyone, he's not a part creative, this is a great thing because now this just gives us even more hope. This just brings even more optimism. And this is exactly what I love to fucking hear. Now, the process of change and the process of rehabilitation and rebuilding what once was a great company is finally in motion, and we can fully get behind it. Even I had some doubt. Even I had somewhat of a little voice in the back of my head saying, you know, Vince McMahon, he could still be running the WWE from the shadows. Now we get confirmation that he's not. This kind of eases the tension just a little bit more. Now we can sit back, we can relax, and we can watch the rehabilitation of the company that we love. Raw and SmackDown right now are the best that they've been in years. SmackDown and Raw are giving me 2016 vibes from SmackDown. It's not as good. Triple H has got a long way to go, but what we've been getting has been some really solid fucking material. Raw this week, though not as good as last week, Raw this week was very good. SmackDown was very good this week. So at the end of the day, our optimism is going to increase. The one thing that does piss me off, though, is the fact that we're living in a time where professional wrestling is over here thriving, and all of these WWE cocksuckers are still trying to shit all over Triple H. It just goes to show you that they're not even WWE fans at all. They're just Vince McMahon bootlickers. It's like Punk was saying. Everything that Punk said was correct. There are still people that are going to go out on a limb and say, oh, these shows suck. Really? The WWE still sucks. What was 6 weeks ago? Did you watch Raw from 6 weeks ago? That show fucking sucked. These shows haven't sucked. They're not the best. But if you're going to come out here and tell me that they sucked, I mean, you obviously have some mental fucking issues, my man. Whatever the fuck you're talking about, it is clearly not the same show that I'm watching, that the intelligent people are watching. WWE right now is operating at its best that it's been in years. And this is exactly what we needed. This is going to be a phenomenal time for professional wrestling as a whole. We are going to be in a scenario where professional wrestling, the whole landscape of wrestling, is going to thrive. Look at Dynamite, look at Rampage, look at SmackDown, look at Raw. The four major shows, the four biggest wrestling shows that are on TV right now are putting on great material. The flow of the show is great. Nothing is crammed into a show. Nothing is rushed. Nothing feels rushed. Everything's flowing very nicely. Everyone is getting their time to shine. New stars are being created. This is a great thing to see. It's a great thing to see. I don't know why anyone would complain about this. If you're saying Raw and SmackDown sucks, you're the fucking problem. And I don't care. I'll say that right to your face. If you're saying Dynamite and Rampage sucks, you're the fucking problem. Professional wrestling right now, they're not perfect shows. No show's ever going to be perfect. But at the end of the day, you take a look at the content that we're getting in depth. You take a look at the core value of the content that we're getting in depth. And we got some great stuff brewing. Vince McMahon is gone. And he's not running the WWE from the shadows. Good. Very happy to hear that. Triple H is in full control of creative. And Stephanie and Nick Khan, listen, if Nick Khan just handles the business side of things, maybe I won't mind him. If Nick Khan stays out of the creative aspect of it and you leave that all to Triple H where Nick Khan and Stephanie handles the business side of it, I got no issue with that. Got no issue with that at all. It's a great thing to hear. I figured I'd talk about this now, considering that we actually got into a pretty damn good main event on SmackDown this past Friday. Well, last night, really. Last night, we had a great main event with Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura, really making the Intercontinental Championship feel prestigious. Very, very happy to see that. So, Gunther, as you know, came up to the main roster, and he is now the current Intercontinental Champion. He beat Shinsuke Nakamura in what was a very good main event, really highlighting the Intercontinental Championship, making it feel important. Apparently, WrestleVotes provided us an update on what would have happened to Gunther if Vince and his administration stayed in control. Now, while reading this pisses me off. This pisses me off, but I'm very, very happy that this did not come to fruition. So, WrestleVotes tweeted out legitimately a half hour before I went live, they tweeted this out, and I quote, "Following his appearance on Raw on 7/4, the July 4th edition of Raw, those in power at the time really soured on Gunther for whatever ridiculous reason to a point where a burial on TV was coming. Just a month later, and quite the difference." End quote. This legitimately pisses me off, even though it shouldn't because Triple H is in control. We shouldn't have to ask ourselves the question, what if? We shouldn't be asking ourselves the question. And it's so ridiculous to me because they sour on Gunther, yet Gunther has done everything that they told him to do. Gunther did everything by the book. He did everything that Vince and his administration told him to do. Moved to the U.S., changed his name. They got rid of Imperium, which was the best faction in WWE at the time. They got rid of Imperium. Now, everyone's pretty much achieving a decent amount of success in their own right. Fabian Eichner, now Giovanni Vinci, is fighting for the North American Championship against Carmelo Hayes, which should be a great match. That should be a great match. But the point is, no one should have even contemplated breaking up Imperium. So they broke up Imperium. He moved to the U.S. He changed his name. He slimmed down. He lost about 30, 40 pounds. And you still soured on him? What the fuck are you souring on him for? You booked him the way he is, and he did everything that you told him to do. Why the fuck are you souring on him? This just goes to show you how fucking stupid Vince McMahon and his administration is. 3 weeks ago, he won the Intercontinental Championship, and they were praising him. And now they're souring on him? These people are absolutely fucking insane. And you know something? The souring on him, it isn't that they soured on him. It's that they wanted to destroy him because he was a Triple H creation. Imagine that. If Vince and Bruce were still in control, Nakamura would have probably won the title. I love Nakamura, but Gunther should have remained the champion. Gunther would have lost the title to Nakamura. He would have been buried, probably would have been released by the time Survivor Series rolled around. And then within 3 months, in February, probably at Revolution in March, he would have been in the hands of Tony Khan, being built up to take the TNT Championship off of Wardlow. Imagine that. The more that I hear shit like this, the more I am ecstatic. I cannot be any more ecstatic that Vince and his cronies are gone. The more I hear shit like this, the happier I am that he is gone. Triple H is in control, and he's going to do right by Gunther. He did right by Gunther last night. Great match with Nakamura. Here's something that came as a little bit of a shock, but I am also happy about this as well. I'm rather happy. And I think that's a good thing. Happy DJ Storms means the fans are happy too. So Fightful reported a new update on the Tony Khan, Jonathan Gresham situation from a few weeks back. Now, as you guys know, Jonathan Gresham, obviously, he became a stubborn little fuckboy, and he got his panties in a bunch because he did not receive enough TV time when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion, even though he's been there for 5 months, and he magically expected Tony Khan to treat him as if he was CM Punk when he first came in, when he's not. Fightful Select, they reported that Gresham obviously asked for his release, and he cursed out Tony Khan. The situation confirmed that both sides got heated. Both sides were getting heated, and I quote privately. However, we were told from AEW side of things that they were happy with how the match with Gresham and Castagnoli went, and many respected the professionalism of Gresham to continue with the match. Now, despite the heated nature, it didn't appear any bridges were burned. No confirmation has been made on whether or not Gresham was granted his release. Now, I feel as though this is a very good thing. Jonathan Gresham is great. Jonathan Gresham is great at what he does. Jonathan Gresham is a very underrated talent. I want to see him succeed. And if there was no bridges burned, that's a good thing, because it really goes to show you that maybe he understands where he went wrong. Maybe Tony Khan is going to work better on the communication issue, which I do believe he is. He appointed new people in developmental team roles. That is a very good thing to see. That's definitely a very good thing to see. And the fact that there was no bridges burned, it's definitely showing the professionalism of Tony Khan in that regard. Because Tony Khan could have easily shit-canned Jonathan Gresham, and he could have done what he did to Big Swole, and it would have been 1,000% justified, because Big Swole is a race-baiting cunt. Big Swole is a piece of shit. Big Swole is an absolute disease. She really is. She honestly is one of the worst in terms of her attitude and her mentality. She is so fucking delusional. She is so fucking stupid when it comes to her mentality and this racism shit that's going on. It don't exist anymore. It don't. There's no such thing as prominent racism. Get that shit out of your mind. Get that shit. If you honestly believe that prominent racism still exists, you need to get the fuck out of this chat. I do not stand for stupidity. This isn't 1860 anymore. This isn't the 1950s where we still have fucking segregation. Get that shit out of here. It's 2022. No such thing as prominent racism. Big Swole's a fucking cunt. He could have easily done the same thing to Jonathan Gresham for his unprofessionalism, did Tony Khan, and he could have easily just shit-canned Jonathan Gresham, and he could have easily said, you don't fucking talk to me like that. You need to get your fucking attitude in check. He could have easily did that, but he didn't. Tony Khan right there is showing you how much of a professional individual that he really is. He's more open. He's more relaxed. He's more of a calmed down individual, and he's willing to talk. He's willing to smooth things over. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but if there was no bridges burned, then maybe we could potentially see Jonathan Gresham go back to AEW and Ring of Honor. Maybe once we get a Ring of Honor TV deal show, maybe once we have a scenario in which Tony Khan smooths over the communication issues backstage. Maybe we see the backstage environment become a little bit more organized. It's not a bad backstage environment. It's just chaotic. People respect each other. People talk things out with each other, but it's just a chaotic environment where you don't know what's going to happen next. Now, if Tony Khan can figure that out, maybe Jonathan Gresham will come back. Maybe Jonathan Gresham comes to his senses. Maybe he's not listening to his fucking bitch wife, and he's not buying into the drama-seeking mentality that his bitch wife has. Because Jordynne Grace, she may be a great wrestler, but let's be real. She is a drama-seeking bitch. And I don't care if she sees this or not. It's on Twitter. Jordynne Grace don't have me blocked, so I know for a fact she could absolutely see this shit. I don't give a shit. When have I ever given a shit? If I gave a shit, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But if there was no bridges burned, good. Hopefully things will smooth over. Hopefully everyone will calm themselves down, and hopefully everyone will finally be in a scenario where they're getting what they want and everyone's satisfied. I like to hope that Jonathan Gresham will probably get his ego in check, because Jonathan Gresham, he was not in the right. He was not in the right. There are communication issues going on, but he completely went about it the wrong way. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But ladies and gentlemen, those are your news, rumors, and reports. Those are your news, rumors, and reports within the world of pro wrestling for this week. And I hope you guys have had a good time thus far. We are just getting started. We are just getting started here on the LFU. If you guys haven't already done so, please make sure that you share the stream out on all platforms, social media, and if you're watching on my channel, please make sure that you go over to the Hardcore Sports channel, like it on the Hardcore Sports channel, and then if you're on the Hardcore Sports channel, go over to my channel and like it on my channel. We got exactly 9 likes on my channel. We got 9 likes on my channel. We got 8 likes on the Hardcore Sports channel. People, if you haven't liked it on both channels yet, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You need to like it on both channels. It is vital that you do so. Like it on both channels, and then we are going to get into the weekly show reviews. Again, I will not be going over Quake by the Lake, as Earl, shout out to him, Earl Cole had me on the Wrestling Experience. That is in the link. It's in the description link of the stream. Go check it out in the description. The link to Wrestling Experience Quake by the Lake with me and Earl Cole is right there. You'll get to see our analytical expertise, our analytical dissection on it. We're actually going to talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was actually a pretty solid show. Pretty solid show was Monday Night Raw. Not as good as last week. Not as good as last week, but we still got a pretty solid episode of Monday Night Raw. We got Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky kicking off the show. The crowd booed them. Exactly what they should be getting because they are heels. So the crowd was booing them. Bayley said that they are here to salvage this uninspired division. That right there is a shoot by Triple H. So she goes, you really enjoy seeing Becky play dress up every single week? You really enjoy cheering for Bianca Belair? Really? So she goes, Bianca would be nothing without her. And she goes, we made a statement for all of you. We are bringing back what's missing. And Io said, the hunger, which is very true. The Raw Women's Division is indeed missing hunger. And I really do hope that we are going to see that hunger once again. So we got Bayley saying, how am I the only one to realize what a lethal weapon Io Sky is? So Bayley got angry because the crowd kept on booing her. Kai then promised that they'll win the tournament. Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair came out, and they all went to the ring. Bliss said that they aren't winning the tournament because you'll have to face us soon. Bianca then said that they had no problem dealing with you right now. Bayley then said, we'll do it where it counts and not in Cleveland. Bayley, being a heel that she is, she goes, let's do this at Clash at the Castle. Bianca said, challenge accepted. She then goes, while you feel like maintaining control, I feel like losing it. Bianca actually sounded pretty decent here. Bianca then struck first. We got a big brawl. People were fighting everywhere. Bliss then dove off the barricade onto the pile, into the crowd, going into commercial, and we got ourselves a 6-woman tag at Clash at the Castle. I don't mind it. It's actually a pretty decent move. And the reason why is because Bayley and Bianca seems like the next feud. If Bayley were to get a shot at Bianca in September at Clash at the Castle, it really wouldn't make too much sense because Bayley hasn't wrestled the match yet. Bayley has only been back for a few weeks. She hasn't done anything. So realistically speaking, Bayley needs to get some wins behind her. So doing this 6-woman tag, Bayley and her faction can get a win by pinning Alexa Bliss, which should happen. They get a win by pinning Bliss, and Bayley and her faction look strong in the end. And Bayley can finally gain some wins behind her, and she'll be a credible challenger heading towards a match with Bianca. Then you could build the match towards Extreme Rules. You don't need to build this match towards Clash at the Castle. It wouldn't make sense because Bayley hasn't been winning matches. So this is a pretty decent move right here. Gives all these women a showcase, and it gives Bayley's faction a big win on pay-per-view. Can't complain about that. Seth Rollins, he took on Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins actually put on a decent little match right here with Seth Rollins. Angelo Dawkins, do not sleep on Angelo Dawkins. Even though Montez Ford's really going to be the breakout singles guy, Angelo Dawkins is not bad. He's not bad at all. Angelo Dawkins is actually a very underrated professional wrestler, and he deserves a lot more respect than what he's been given. Him and Ari Daivari. And we'll talk about Ari Daivari later when we talk about Rampage, because Ari Daivari, he excels at all the roles that he's been given. So shout out to Ari Daivari. So Dawkins showed off his athleticism here with a nice cartwheel and a dropkick. Dawkins pounced the shit out of Seth Rollins over the announce table. Rollins went flying over the table. Coming back from commercial, Rollins was in control. Rollins, with a cheap shot at Montez Ford, he just face washed him with his boot. Montez brought in a chair. The ref ejected him because he's got attitude problems. So that's definitely an underlying storyline right there with Montez. He's got some attitude issues. That could fuel the fire for Dawkins to turn on him. Dawkins, with a nice flurry of offense, with a big tope con hero, exploder suplex, spinning stinger splash, and then the silencer. Dawkins got a 2. This was a great sequence right here. Back and forth counters by both men. Rollins went for the stomp. Dawkins reversed it back and forth. Rollins got planted with the sky-high spine buster. Rollins barely kicked out. Great near fall right there. Dawkins was sent into the steps. Back in the ring, Dawkins dodged yet another curb stomp. Rollins then hit the pedigree with a 1-2-3, and then he hit a stomp on Dawkins after the match as Ford came running out to send Rollins packing. So that right there was some pretty decent material right there from Angelo Dawkins and Seth Rollins. So Angelo Dawkins, don't sleep on him. Dominic Mysterio and Edge got into a little shoving match backstage, a little tension developing backstage because Dominic shoved Edge and he got mad at Ray for taking Edge's side over his. Dominic obviously doesn't believe that what happened was an accident. So he's obviously pissed at Edge for spearing him. Could Dominic join Judgment Day? I don't know. I actually hope he doesn't, but the vibe that I'm getting from everyone involved in the storyline, I like the vibe. I really like the vibe. Hardcore Sports Superfan, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Please make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already done so. We got a lot of material to get into. Share the streams out on all platforms, social media. We want to get as many people in here as possible. So, we were supposed to have a match between Ezekiel and Kevin Owens. The fight started right out of the gate. Owens sent Ezekiel into the post, into the announce table, and then he power-bombed him on the ring apron. The ref then called for the EMTs as Owens laughed and smiled when they took Ezekiel away. This right here was a statement by Triple H to show everyone that Kevin Owens is back to being Kevin Owens. This right here is exactly what we needed. Kevin Owens is back to being his normal self. Kevin Owens is back to being the Stone Cold Killer that we all know Kevin Owens should be. The focused, determined, motivated, prize fighter Kevin Owens. Ezekiel, he may have been very good in the ring. Don't get me wrong. I respect Ezekiel for working on his in-ring ability. He actually became a pretty decent pro wrestler, but the guy legitimately had no fucking character. He was as bland as you can get. He was as bland as water. Bland as drinking water. You had no reason to emotionally invest or connect to Ezekiel. Plain and simple. Triple H did what he did as a statement to show to everyone Ezekiel is old news. Kevin Owens is back to being Kevin fucking Owens. Good thing to say. I like it. Kevin Owens is back to being Kevin Owens. This is exactly what we need. Keep doing it. The Judgment Day. They came out to cut a promo. Balor had the mic, and he goes to Edge and Rey Mysterio, and he says, Edge and Rey Mysterio think that we should be fearing them? They think that we should be fearing them. The Judgment Day isn't afraid of anyone because fear is a product of your imagination. And danger, though, danger is real. And Rey Mysterio, you're going to find out that I am danger. Priest then had the mic. We didn't hear the all rise. We didn't hear it. I wish we could have heard it because I love when Damian Priest goes, all rise. I love when he does that. That right there is one of my favorite. We need a t-shirt. If we're going to really invest in Judgment Day here, which Triple H seems to be investing in Judgment Day, if we're going to be investing in Judgment Day, we need a t-shirt for Damian Priest that says, all rise. We need that shit. So we didn't hear the all rise, but Damian Priest then said, Edge, I will lay you out. And in 2 weeks in Toronto, I'm officially challenging you to a match. If you still have a set, let's end this. So we got Damian Priest and Edge in 2 weeks in Toronto. Great. Damian Priest, Edge, 2 weeks in Toronto. I'm all for that. This is what I love to see. Judgment Day, they actually feel a little bit interesting now. This storyline actually has a little bit of momentum behind them. And we're getting Edge wrestling Damian Priest on Raw in Toronto. I got no issue with that. So he goes, you said you were going to end the Judgment Day, but now the Judgment Day is going to end you. Pretty decent fucking promo right here. These two, this was probably the best that Judgment Day has ever sounded. Exactly what we need. More of this, please. And we got a very good match with Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio. They went 15 minutes. Probably one of the best things on the show. So Rey tried to use his speed, but Balor shut him down. He stomped on Rey. Balor then hit the Eye of the Hurricane. Balor then tried for the Three Amigos. Rey reversed it. Rey with a drop kick right to the head. He hit a wheelbarrow bulldog for a 2 count. Rey then hit a 619 to the back of Damian Priest's head. Balor sent Rey into the post. Coming back from commercial, Rey mounted a comeback with a baseball slide power bomb into the barricade. Rey then knocked Balor into the referee. The referee was out, and Damian Priest took out Rey. He tripped him off the apron behind the referee's back. Then Edge came out, and Edge brawled with Priest into the stands. Rey Mysterio hit a nice code red on Balor for 2. Balor kicked out. Rey got clotheslined by Balor. Shotgun drop kick. He went for the coup de grace, did Balor, but he missed. Rey then looked up on the stage, and this was actually a great sight right here. This was a distraction that didn't make anyone look stupid. This was a distraction that didn't make anyone look stupid. Because normally, if there's a distraction, you would hear someone's music play, and then when they're in the middle of a match, you turn and look at the stage like a fucking retard. Meanwhile, there's a match going on. Rey Mysterio had Balor on the ropes for the 619. Balor was facing the announce table. Rey Mysterio runs the other way to go bounce off the ropes for the 619. When he runs the other way, Rhea Ripley is already standing there on the stage with Dominic beaten to a fucking pulp with his clothes ripped off and everything. Rey was distracted. Rhea Ripley was smiling. Balor hit the 1916 and the coup de grace, and Finn Balor won. A distraction that didn't make anyone look stupid. How about that? And we got a very good match. And Triple H making a statement because Finn Balor is winning matches on TV. How about that? Now, that's a great thing to see. That's a very good thing to see. So, whatever they're doing, I'm liking it. Whatever they're doing, I'm liking it. So, hey, keep doing it. Could Dominic join the Judgment Day? I don't know. Do we see Rey and Edge versus Judgment Day at Clash at the Castle? Maybe. Maybe. Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Dana Brooke and Tamina. Dana Brooke and Tamina are fucking terrible, and this was not a good match. This was the first round of the Women's Tag Team Tournament quarterfinals. Legitimately, the only match that anyone's going to care about is the finals with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and then Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark from NXT. That's it. This match was not good at all. Dana Brooke came off the top with a crossbody onto both women. Probably the best move that she did all match. Coming back from commercial, Brooke was isolated. Io Sky with double knees to Brooke. Brooke got the tag to Tamina. She ran wild on Sky with a super kick and a terrible-looking Samoan drop. Dana drove herself into the barricade by mistake. Tamina then got hit with a boot, and then Io Sky with the over-the-moon salt. And they advanced to the next round. Right outcome, but the match fucking sucked because of Dana Brooke and Tamina. Dana Brooke and Tamina, again, there are certain things that are just not meant to be. Certain things are not meant to be. I love Triple H. I respect the fact that he wants to make do with everything that he's been given, but certain things are not meant to be. Men should not be dressing up in drag. Joe Biden shouldn't be president. Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. And no wrestling company should have women's tag team championships. Not Impact, not NWA, not WWE, not AEW. None of them. They don't work. On top of that, Dana Brooke and Tamina aren't meant to be in the WWE. Get them off of TV and fire them. I don't care how nasty it sounds. They are worthless. Get rid of the women's tag team titles while you're at it as well. This entire tournament only has 3 positives coming out of it. Number 1, Io Sky and Dakota Kai are going to be the champions, and they're going to achieve success. 2, Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark are getting main roster exposure. And 3, this is going to lead to the return of Sasha and Naomi. That's it. It's the only decent material that's going to come out of this. Outside of that, the matches that we've gotten so far have not been good. Not at all. Outcome was right. The match sucked. Probably one of the few downsides to Raw. I'll tell you what wasn't a downside, though. Bobby Lashley and Tommaso Ciampa. This was not a downside. Tommaso Ciampa actually came out wearing a Harley Race robe. Talked about how Harley Race was one of his biggest inspirations. And that right there is a great touch. You would never see that. The U.S. Championship legitimately felt important. Felt like the World Championship, actually. Ciampa used his quickness against Lashley early on. Lashley with a stalling suplex on Ciampa. Lashley then came back with an elbow on Ciampa. Lashley was then on the offense. Lashley tossed Ciampa into the Miz. Coming back from commercial, Lashley mounted a comeback. Lashley with a TKO for a 2. Ciampa then with a reverse DDT. That got a 2 count. Ciampa with a standard DDT for a 2. Lashley hit the spear, turning Ciampa inside out, but Miz put Ciampa's foot on the ropes. Styles then came out to attack the Miz, sent him into the crowd. Ciampa then took the buckle off, or the turnbuckle pad off of the turnbuckle. So Lashley then hit a flatliner. Miz and Styles then brawled through the ring. The referee was distracted like a dunce. Ciampa sent Lashley into the buckle, connected with a V-trigger. Lashley just kicked out. All of a sudden, Ciampa locked in the Gargano escape. And that right there is a little teaser right there. You know why? Because Johnny Gargano could be on his way back to WWE. Little teaser right there. Gargano escape was in deep. Lashley got out. Ciampa hit Willow's bell. Lashley kicked out again. I thought Ciampa won the U.S. title right there. Lashley then with a huge spine buster. Locked in the hurt lock. Ciampa tapped. This was a great match. Best thing on the show. Great match. The U.S. title feels important. Lashley retains. Lashley is looking dominant. And Lashley, he's a fighting champion. We got another match with AJ Styles in the U.S. Championship next week. Lashley and Styles should be a good match. Can't wait to see that match. Omos took on Andre Grurico and Spencer Slade. Omos just destroyed these two. Choke bomb and Omos wins. Don't know why Omos is on TV. Again, some things are not meant to be. Omos is not meant to be a pro wrestler. Fire the guy. Get him off TV. Now, next week, we got an exclusive interview with Matt Riddle. Obviously, they're building that match, Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins towards Clash at the Castle, which should be great. Dolph Ziggler took on Chad Gable. This went about 7 minutes. Dolph Ziggler wins here with a super kick. Chad Gable was targeting Ziggler's ankle. He locked in Ziggler's ankle in an ankle lock for a good portion of the match. Ziggler finally hit the super kick, and he got the win. Otis went for the attack. Ziggler got out, and that was pretty much that. So it looks like we're getting Ziggler and Otis next week. Next week, we also got Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Doudrop and Nikki Trashcan. So it looks like Alexa Bliss and Asuka will be advancing. One thing that was great was the fact that there was a little mini story being told throughout the night. During the interview that Kevin Owens had in the back with Kevin Patrick, Doudrop and Nikki Ash, they were talking about a car that seemingly crashed into a big post in the parking lot. And apparently, that was a storyline that was being played out for the rest of the night, because during an interview with Alexa Bliss and Asuka, security guards, policemen, ran past them, and we're approaching the main event. We got Styles and The Miz. They get 15 minutes in the main event, no disqualification, and we actually got a decent little match here in the main event. Who'd have thunk? The Miz, under Triple H, The Miz is actually pretty bearable. Who'd have thought? The Miz is actually a bearable pro wrestler under Triple H. He had a great match with Logan Paul. He had a very good triple threat match with Styles and Mustafa Ali a couple weeks ago on Raw. And then here he has a semi-decent no DQ match with Styles. Who'd have thought? So we get a fight right out of the gate. They bash themselves off of the announce table. Miz then sent Styles over the steps. Styles then got a kendo stick, a steel chair, and a table. Miz took advantage because Styles was taking way too long. Styles then with a forearm to the Miz. Miz sent Styles over the announce table and over the barricade. Coming back from commercial, Styles brought out a table. Miz hit Styles with a kendo stick over and over again. Styles came back with a Pele kick. Styles then whipped Miz with the kendo stick. He had a Russian leg sweep with the kendo stick. That got a 2 count. Phenomenal forearm connects. But Ciampa moves Styles out of the pinning predicament. Pulls Styles out. So he pulls Styles out from underneath the cover of the Miz. Styles then sends Ciampa off the apron through a table. Miz then throws a chair in AJ Styles' face and hits the skull-crushing finale, but AJ Styles kicks out. Styles then sent the Miz headfirst into a steel chair. Styles clash, and Styles wins. Decent little match right here. And the Miz, he hasn't been doing too bad for himself in the last couple weeks. So, hey, I'll give my credit where credit's due to the Miz. All of a sudden, there was security guards and policemen in the crowd, and it looks like they were attending to some crazed fan. I originally thought it was a crazed fan, But apparently, when this guy got up, we saw Dexter Lumis. Yes, Dexter Lumis in the crowd. And if you don't know who Dexter Lumis is, if you haven't watched NXT, Dexter Lumis is an absolute fucking master of his craft. Guy's a very good pro wrestler, and the guy plays the crazed serial killer that doesn't speak so fucking well. And you want to know how good he is? He's so good that Triple H is placing him in a program, what looks to be a program, with AJ Styles of all people. AJ Styles of all people. That right there is something to be happy about. And that right there is something to keep your eye on. Dexter Lumis and AJ Styles. That right there is going to be a very interesting feud. I fully expect Styles to lose to Bobby Lashley next Monday. He's not winning the U.S. title, and I fully expect Dexter Lumis and AJ Styles to be a program going into fall. Can you imagine? Dexter Lumis, AJ Styles, Extreme Rules? We're going to get an Extreme Rules match? If you remember the Haunted House of Terrors match, what was it? Back in NXT. It was NXT Halloween Havoc. NXT Halloween Havoc back in 2020, where we had a Haunted House of Terrors match with Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis, and it was a cinematic match, and it was a fantastic match. Very fun material. It was cinematic. It had a great feel to it. That right there was a great cinematic match, and it resulted in a damn good strap match as well. We had a strap match between Lumis and Cameron Grimes as well at TakeOver War Games that year, which was also great. So that right there goes to show you how good Dexter Lumis is. And if that is a taste of what we're going to get with Lumis and Styles, I mean, sign me up. This is a great way to introduce Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis is now on Raw, and Dexter Lumis, I see solid U.S. champion, solid Intercontinental champion in Dexter Lumis. He is going to be a great asset to Monday Night Raw. Got a damn good show. Damn good 3 hours of Raw. And you know what else? This goes to show you that if Vince and Bruce actually put effort, they could put on a good 3-hour show. Triple H has put on 2 of the best Monday Night Raws in years at 3 hours. How about that? That's the power of Triple H, people. That is the power of Triple H. That's Monday Night Raw. We're going to go over NXT UK, SmackDown, and Rampage as well. But once again, thank you all for sticking with me here. We're having a great stream thus far. If you guys have not already done so, please make sure that you are liking the stream. Please make sure that you are sharing it out on all platforms, social media. Let's check the stream one more time. On my stream, we have 9 likes. We need 1 more to get to 10, people. Just 1 more. That's all we need. Just 1 more to get to 10, and we should be good. We should be pretty well-rounded when it comes to my stream. And on the Hardcore Sports stream, we also have 9. We have 9 likes on both the Hardcore Sports stream and my stream. Again, people, if you haven't done so, go over to Hardcore Sports channel, like it there. Go over to my channel, like it there if you haven't already done so. And for those watching on Twitch, for those watching on Twitter as well, like and retweet and share. We need some more people in here. NXT UK. NXT UK was kind of I don't want to say it was bad, but there really wasn't much to go into it. Even the NXT UK tournament matches fell flat. And it really just goes to show you that NXT UK right now, they really need to get out of the BT Sports studio. They need to start touring again. And Triple H, similar to NXT 2.0, which I didn't cover this week, similar to NXT 2.0, NXT UK is not his priority right now. NXT UK was hot back in late 2019, early 2020. NXT in 2019 was a great year for NXT UK. Not so much the end of the year, but the beginning of the year, the mid of the year. NXT UK was hot back then. And then in the beginning of 2020, NXT UK was really heating up. I'm still pissed we never got NXT UK TakeOver Dublin. So pissed. Oliver Carter and Charlie Dempsey, they had an NXT UK Championship Tournament first round. This was pretty much a one-sided match. Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal, he was pretty much destroying Carter for the entire match. We had Carter taking the fight to Dempsey early. Dempsey then targeted his leg. Carter fought back. Dempsey hit a dragon suplex for a 2. Dempsey with a single leg crab. Carter quickly rolled up Dempsey for the quick win, and he's going to the semifinals. Dempsey looked strong. And Carter advanced. Pretty boring match, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. It didn't really connect as well as it should have. Charlie Dempsey, he's in the same boat as Zack Sabre Jr. He's fucking boring. Really. Charlie Dempsey, I almost said Chad Gable. I'm disrespecting the American hero. Chad Gable. I think someone is going to have to tell me to shoosh. Thank you. Charlie Dempsey's boring. Chad Gable's not boring. Charlie Dempsey is boring. There are some rumors, actually. Charlie Dempsey is actually rumored to go to NXT 2.0, and Gallus is also rumored. Now, Gallus is great. Gallus is awesome. Gallus is a great fucking faction. Gallus has the potential to be feuding with the Bloodline. They have the potential to be feuding with the Judgment Day. Potential to be feuding with anyone, really. Gallus is great. Gallus is awesome. I have no problem with Gallus, but you're going to have to fill quite a big void on NXT UK if Gallus is moving to NXT 2.0. But I like Gallus. Gallus is great. They're a great faction. We had Thea Hale of Andre Chase University taking on Eliza Alexander. Hale didn't look terrible, but the women's division, it sucks. The women's division in NXT and NXT UK sucks. I'm sorry. So Eliza Alexander, she wins here. Pretty much it, with a sliding drop kick. Sam Gradwell, he took on Teoman. Really nothing much to this match. Sam Gradwell wins with the Samoan driver. Di Familia, I don't know what the fuck happened with Di Familia. Di Familia they're becoming the new Symbiosis. If you remember Symbiosis on NXT UK, Symbiosis was nothing but a jobber faction. Di Familia is slowly becoming a jobber faction, and that right there is kind of disappointing. It's very disappointing to see, actually. Main event, decent little match, probably the best thing on the show. Trent Seven and Wolfgang. Not a bad match, but again, there's really not much steam behind this tournament. Crowd was clearly behind Wolfgang. Wolfgang's actually very good at what he does. He put on a great match against Ilya Dragunov a couple weeks ago. So he threw Trent Seven into the barricade. Seven regained control with a DDT. He hit a German suplex on Wolfgang. Diving axe handle. We had a running side senton for a 2. Seven with a snapdragon suplex. We had a modified suplex cutter by Wolfgang. That got a 2. Wolfgang with a gut buster. Seven kicked out. Seven then got the knees up on the senton, which Wolfgang calls the howling. So he got the knees up on the howling, and Trent Seven hit the burning hammer, and Trent Seven advances to the semifinals. And the finals look to be Trent Seven and Tyler Bate for the NXT United Kingdom Championship, which I have no issue with whatsoever. That was pretty much NXT UK. Very missable show. Didn't really care for it too much. SmackDown, though, was a pretty solid show. SmackDown was actually a very good show. And like I said, before we get into SmackDown, be sure you're sharing out the stream, getting as many people in here as we possibly can, because we got some shit to talk about. So, SmackDown started off with Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Xia Li and Shotzi. This is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament first round. This match was better than what we had on Monday Night Raw, but all in all, this was very sloppy. Very, very sloppy. And there's no steam behind this. There's legit no steam. There's no emotional investment. There's nothing to go into this tournament. There really isn't. The tournament has fallen flat. Legitimately, all we're waiting for is for Dakota and Io to win, and then Sasha and Naomi come back. And this goes to show you that no one has built any new stars when Vince McMahon was in charge. Quite fucking pathetic. Quite fucking pathetic. But we had Raquel was in control. She actually tossed Aaliyah onto Xia Li for a 2. The first half of the match didn't start off bad. So Aaliyah, I will give some respect to Aaliyah, though. Aaliyah is not a woman that's just going to go in there and play wrestle. Aaliyah's going in there and she throws her body around. She takes bumps. I respect that. So props to Aaliyah for going out there and taking the bumps that she should take. Aaliyah with a crossbody to Xia Li off the apron. Sonya Deville and Natalya were out there. They were taken out by Raquel and Shotzi. Coming back from commercial, Aaliyah was isolated. Aaliyah took some punishment. Aaliyah made the tag to Raquel. Raquel with a couple of fallaway slams, twisting Vader bomb. Shotzi then with a Hurricane Rana. She botched a Shiranui. She failed to run up the turnbuckle correctly. Aaliyah then took out Shotzi. And then Raquel hit the Tahana bomb. And her and Aaliyah advanced when Raquel pinned Xia Li. A lot of sloppy spots here. Mainly on Shotzi and Aaliyah's part. But I do give respect to Aaliyah for taking the bumps that she should take. And Raquel and Aaliyah advanced as expected. Not a very good start to the tournament whatsoever. And again, it just goes to show you that the women's tag team titles should have been retired immediately. I'll tell you what was great, though. Karrion Kross, he cut a promo, and he was actually watching Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre actually made his entrance to cut a promo. He got the crowd hyped up, and he talked about Karrion Kross jumping him and how he plans to do horrible things to him. You got 3 choices: knockout, hospital, or graveyard. And he mentioned that Roman was not there. Talked about beating Brock with his bare hands. All of a sudden, Karrion Kross's music hit. Scarlett came out, and she was standing in the ring before the Usos came out of nowhere to attack Drew. Drew tried to fight back, but the Usos ended up hitting the 1D, the one and done. And then they told Scarlett to tell Kross that this is bloodline territory. So I don't know what's going on, but I like the intrigue. I like the unpredictability. Is Drew going to win? Is Drew going to lose? Is Karrion Kross going to be added to this? Is Karrion Kross going to be fighting Drew for the World Championship? Is he going to fight Roman going into Survivor Series? It's definitely something that I'm intrigued with. We had a great promo package for the Intercontinental Championship. They're really hyping up the Intercontinental Championship as something big, something with a lot of prestige in it. That is what I love to fucking see. Keep doing that shit. Kofi Kingston, he attacked the Viking Raiders during their entrance. And the Viking Raiders, they were ready this time, though. The Viking Raiders took over control quickly. They hit Kofi with the shield. They left him laying on the ramp. This was actually a great start right here. Ivar jumped out of the barricade stands. He jumped off of the steel barricade with a splash onto Kofi Kingston, which actually looked pretty damn good. So the Viking Raiders, they're being built up as legit killers. I like to see that. Keep on building up the Viking Raiders as killers. Something that I thoroughly enjoy watching. Sami Zayn, he met with the Usos. He was trying to talk to the Usos before Drew came in and beat the shit out of the Usos. And he promised to beat the shit out of them every single week until he gets to Roman Reigns. Interesting. You notice that Sammy ran off. Sammy ran off. So clearly Sammy and the Usos, there's some underlying issues there between Sami Zayn and the Usos, the honorary Us. We got the return of Hit Row, Ashante the Adonis, Top Dollar, and B-Fab. So I know Triple H wanted to get Swerve back, but that's not the case. Swerve is doing some great work in AEW. Him and Keith Lee are representing the tag team titles very well. We got a tag team title match coming up next week on Rampage with Swerve, Keith Lee, and Private Party, which should be a damn good tag team match. So Hit Row returned to the WWE, and I actually am a fan of this move because this is a move to rejuvenate the tag team division. The tag team division, if you notice, is slowly starting to take shape. You got the Viking Raiders, you got the Usos, you got the Prophets in there, Alpha Academy, you got Los Lotharios. They're getting a role on TV now. Now you're adding Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which I do believe they are going to get the tag team title match at Clash at the Castle. And now you're adding Hit Row? I mean, I can't really complain about that. Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis as a tag team with B-Fab as their mouthpiece. I got no issue with that. I think they could accomplish some decent fucking things. So these two actually look pretty good right here. They took on a couple jobbers. Top Dollar actually slammed them both down. Top Dollar hit a World's Strongest Slam and a Wasteland at the same time. They won with the drop kick back suplex combination, and they look pretty good. They look pretty good, so props to them. Props to them. They cut a promo afterwards, and they cut some solid stuff. Hit Row is now back in the WWE, and Hit Row is going to be a solid act in the tag team division. So props to them. Props to them. Ronda Rousey came through the crowd. No music. She came through the crowd. She put a bag on the table. She took the mic. The crowd was actually cheering for Ronda. Goes to show you that Vince McMahon really fucked up, and it looks like now Ronda is a badass babyface. She talked about being fined, and she doubled the money. She poured out the bag, and it was dollar bills. Rolls of dollar bills. Can I get some of that shit? So she said she can afford it. Security then came out to escort Ronda out. Ronda then took a female security guard. She teased putting her in the armbar, but she said, hey, let me walk out under my own power, and I won't do anything to this poor bitch. So she walked out. Shayna Baszler then came out, and she tried to talk some sense into Ronda. Ronda goes, you used to be a killer. Is that a tease for Shayna and Ronda? I hope so. That right there is a match that I would put on the Survivor Series card. Shayna and Ronda. So Shayna walked to the ring. She cut a promo. She wanted Morgan to come out and make this shit official. Morgan then came out. Clearly, you heard boos. And once again, I'm going to explain this to you. Why is Liv Morgan being booed? It's not the fans. It's not the fans' fault. The fans aren't fickle. It's not Morgan's fault. It's not Triple H's fault. You know whose fault it is? Vince McMahon. I love Liv Morgan just as much as the next guy. But we need to face the facts here. Liv Morgan, under Vince McMahon, was booked like a fucking scrub. Liv Morgan, under Vince McMahon, was booked like a glorified fucking jobber. How many matches with Carmella did we have to sit and endure with Liv Morgan? How many losses to Becky Lynch did she take? Liv Morgan has lost every single big pay-per-view match leading up to her SmackDown Women's title win. She failed to beat Becky Lynch at day one, lost inside the Rumble, lost inside the Chamber, failed to win the women's tag team titles with Rhea Ripley, and then her Balor and Styles lost to the Judgment Day at Hell in a Cell. She's been booked like a bum. She has all but 3 legitimate victories underneath her belt before she won the title from Ronda. So then she's given the briefcase She's given the title, and now this is her opportunity to prove that she's a credible fighting champion, and she deserves to hold the championship, and she's booked to tap out. And the problem is that Triple H had no choice but to book that ending because there was no other way to go about it. Triple H had no choice but to book that ending because if he didn't, then there was going to be parties that looked weak. He wanted to make all the parties look strong. He was caught between a rock and a hard place, and he had to book that ending because there was no other way. But Vince McMahon and the damage that Vince did was already fucking done. They made Liv Morgan into a fucking modern-day female Dolph Ziggler. Dolph is great, but all he does is lose. Same thing with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was the Brooklyn Brawler in female form. She's a lovable loser. Then she's given the chance to prove that she's not a loser, and the only 2 times that she wins big matches, she beat Ronda twice, and she beat her both because of sheer luck. She beat her both just by the skin of her teeth. Now, maybe if she was getting wins in convincing fucking fashion, maybe people would start to take Liv Morgan seriously. If she was winning matches definitively and decisively, maybe people would go and say, well, you know what? Maybe we should start taking Liv Morgan seriously. I can get behind this. She didn't win any matches definitively. She hasn't won a big match in definitive fashion ever. But yet we're supposed to take her seriously as the SmackDown Women's Champion. It don't work that way. Don't work that way. Can't happen. So Liv Morgan clearly being booed because of Vince. She said that she'll be walking out as SmackDown Women's Champion. No, she won't. Liv called Shayna a bootleg Ronda Rousey. And I know because I beat the real deal twice. And at Cardiff, I'm going to beat you too. Liv then signed the contract. The crowd actually started chanting, "You tapped out." Baszler attacked the injured arm, stomped right on it. Liv came back with a bulldog to Shayna through the table. Liv is done. Her days as champion are coming to an end. And again, there's no one to blame but Vince. It's not the fans. It's not Triple H. It's not Liv. It's Vince. Maybe if Liv Morgan wasn't booked to lose 96, 97% of her fucking matches in the last year, maybe if we didn't have to endure 12 matches with Carmella, 15,000 fucking losses to Becky Lynch, maybe Liv Morgan will be taken seriously. Maybe if that ending happened, maybe shit would have worked out differently. But it didn't happen. Didn't happen. Liv Morgan is suffering because of Vince's horrible booking. Nothing more that we can do. So, from there, we go into a tag team match. We're going to do a tag team match with the Usos and Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre got to choose a partner. Now, originally, there was no partner, and he came out with no one, and it was a handicap match. So Drew took the fight to them. He was beating the Usos all around ringside. All of a sudden, Madcap Moss came darting out to the ring, and he looked to be the partner of Drew McIntyre. He hit some fall-away slams and some shoulder tackles on the Usos. Moss actually looks pretty good, and I'm actually happy that Triple H is putting Madcap Moss out there in this role because Madcap Moss is very good at what he does. Now that he's out of the fucking suspenders and he's not wrestling in dress shoes anymore and he's actually serious, Madcap Moss is actually in a scenario where he is going to succeed. Really. So, coming back from commercial, Drew mounted a comeback. All of a sudden, Sami Zayn caused a distraction. The Usos hit a super kick in the Usos splash. Drew just kicked out. Sami was shocked. Moss then took Jay and sent him over the barricade. Jimmy was hit with a Claymore. Jimmy was hit with a Claymore by Drew McIntyre, and in the end, Drew and Madcap Moss got the win here. I fucking hate the fact that the Usos needed to take a loss. It was rather fucking stupid. It was rather fucking stupid that you gave the Usos a loss here. And I will be the first one to tell you that the Usos should not have lost here. I understand why they did it. They didn't do this for no reason. They did this specifically because they're selling a story. They did this specifically because they are selling a story with Sami Zayn and the Usos, and the fact that Sami Zayn is inevitably going to be kicked out of the bloodline, and Sami Zayn is going to be kicked out as the honorary Us, and inevitably the Usos are going to turn on him, with Kevin Owens coming over to SmackDown and aiding Sami Zayn in fighting the Usos, in which they'll win the tag team titles. I understand why they did it. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right. Usos have been losing way too many matches as tag team champions. They shouldn't have lost here. But Roman and Drew is the top priority now. So Roman and Drew, they're coming face-to-face next week. And we also got a first-round matchup in the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. It is Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark versus Sonya Deville and Natalya. And that is taking place next week. The main event was Shinsuke Nakamura. He took on the Ring General Gunther. For the Intercontinental Championship. And we got a very good match between these two. Easily, this was the best Shinsuke Nakamura match in years. This may have been the best Shinsuke Nakamura match since his match with Rusev. I remember when Miro was still in WWE and he was fighting under Rusev, and him and Nakamura had a match on the Christmas Day episode of SmackDown Live, when SmackDown was live on Tuesdays, and it was pre-taped. Now, it was pre-taped, but the match itself, that was a great fucking match. That was the last Nakamura match that I watched, and I was like, holy shit, that was a great fucking match. We get this match, and this is bringing me NXT vibes. NXT Nakamura coming back right here. This was a very good fight. Nakamura came in with some stiff kicks on Gunther. Gunther came back with some stiff chops, and then he transitioned into a Boston Crab. Gunther was bringing the fucking fight to Nakamura. Gunther, he slapped the ever-living shit out of Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura came back with an armbar and a spinning enziguri. Gunther took over and he bent Nakamura over the fucking ropes, which looked fucking nasty as shit. Bent Nakamura over the ropes. Coming back from commercial, Gunther's right arm was the target of Nakamura. Gunther went for a diving splash. Nakamura caught him in a triangle hold. Gunther was then at the mercy of Nakamura as Nakamura transitioned into a Kimura lock. Gunther then with a butterfly suplex. Nakamura with a punt knee. Gunther kicked out. Nakamura with some more strikes and kicks. Nakamura hit the patented sliding German suplex. All of a sudden, Gunther comes flying through the fucking air with a fucking shotgun drop kick on Nakamura. Fucking brutal. He went for the power bomb, but Nakamura with a knee right to the back of the neck, a Kinshasa to the back of the neck. Gunther kicked out. Gunther then hit a huge lariat, turning Nakamura inside out. Nakamura kicked out. Gunther with yet another drop kick and a powerbomb for the 1-2-3 win. Nakamura and Gunther deliver a very good main event to close out SmackDown, and the Intercontinental Championship feels fucking important. Minus Liv Morgan and that terrible women's tag team match at the beginning of the show, SmackDown was a very solid show, and you can clearly see the direction that Triple H is heading towards in Clash at the Castle. You can see the direction that he's headed towards for the build in Clash at the Castle. And Clash at the Castle, it's shaping up to be a damn good show. Rollins and Riddle, Roman and Drew. We got the 6-woman tag between Bayley and her crew versus Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa. We got Shayna and Liv. We're probably getting Edge and Mysterio versus Balor and Damian Priest. Got some solid stuff right there. Potentially Styles and Dexter Lumis, potentially. A lot of good stuff. I'm into it. Really solid material. AEW Rampage. AEW Rampage was Not a bad show. But if we're talking about the must-see factor, this was probably the most missable episode of Rampage all year. That doesn't mean it was a terrible show. It just really wasn't anything to go back and rewatch. We did get some decent wrestling. We did get a few aspects of storyline progression, but it really wasn't all that exciting. But it wasn't bad. It was kind of just there. So, Rampage started off with Bryan Danielson. He kicked off the show. He was interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Bryan said, I don't know if I'll ever be at 100%, but I need to live 100%. Nothing makes me feel more alive than being in this ring, and I will never willfully stop wrestling. Someone will have to end my career because I won't back down, and it's not ending this Wednesday. Bryan was nice and intense. Garcia then came out, and he said that Bryan was his hero, but it sounds like he's coming up with excuses. How many times can you retire and then come back? It hurts me. And when you hurt me, that makes me want to hurt you too. I will hurt you so bad that I will end your career, and you'll be calling me the best technical sports entertainer on the planet. Bryan says what really pisses me off is this sports entertainment bullshit. You're one of the first people I wanted in the Blackpool Combat Club because I saw you go 60 minutes at 21 years old in the independents. Do you want to be the best sports entertainer on the planet, or do you want to be the best technical wrestler in the world? Said Bryan. I will leave that up to you. And he leaves. They fucking sold me. They didn't really need to do anything else, but I mean, after this promo, which was excellent, holy shit, they got me. They fucking got me. I am all for this. Love it. Love it. That's going to be a great fucking match on Wednesday. We had Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Sky Blue and Dante Martin. This was for the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships, which Sammy and Tay currently hold. The one takeaway from this match, I will say. Sky Blue, when we first saw her less than a year ago, she fucking sucked. Sky Blue sucked. I'm looking at Sky Blue now. She is a lot better. And I mean a lot better than where she originally was. So, props to Sky Blue. Whatever she did, Sky Blue looks good. Looks very good, actually. So, props to her. She's not doing too bad for herself. So, Sky Blue came in with a crossbody on Tay. We had a big slap across the face. She slapped the shit out of Tay. Sky with some step-up knees, a spinning enziguri. Ty then took over, coming back from commercial. We had a tag to Dante. Dante took it to Sammy. He had a nice drop kick, a big tope suicida. This spot was actually great right here. Dante launched off the back of Tay Conti and hit a Canadian Destroyer on Sammy Guevara. Sammy kicked out. He tagged in Sky Blue. Ty Mello hit a satellite DDT on Dante, which looked great. Sky Blue with a Hurricane Rana on Sammy, which looked great. Ty then with a super kick, and then she hit the Ty KO, and Ty Conti pins Sky Blue for the win in what was a pretty fun little match right here. Probably the best thing on the show. So solid stuff right there from Sammy and Ty, Sky Blue, and Dante Martin. They put on a very fun match, and Sammy and Ty retain the Mixed Tag Team Championships. Now it seems as though both Ty and Sammy are on the right track, which I like to see. Parker Boudreaux, who is officially All Elite. Parker Boudreaux is going to be something big. Parker Boudreaux actually looked very, very good here. Parker Boudreaux looked like a fucking savage, and that's what I like to see. So he took on Sonny Kiss. Parker Boudreaux just engulfed Sonny Kiss with a big body block. He was coming in as intense as ever. He was punching Sonny Kiss pretty stiff. Parker Boudreaux goozled Sonny Kiss, hit a big choke slam, and then hit a back suplex side slam for the 1-2-3 win. Parker Boudreaux looked pretty decent here, and I'm liking it. Parker Boudreaux and the Trustbusters. I think that Parker Boudreaux and the Trustbusters could actually be pretty decent in the trios division. I like what Ari Daivari can do. Parker Boudreaux's great as well. And then we got Slim J. Slim J ain't bad himself. I like it. The Gun Club. They took on Danhausen and Eric Redbeard, or Beardhausen. It's always good to see Eric Redbeard. Eric Redbeard, he's very good in his own right. So don't sleep on Eric Redbeard. He can do a lot for a big guy. So the Gun Club isolated Danhausen. Redbeard got the tag. We had a big drop kick on Colton. Redbeard then sent Austin into Colton. We had a big running double crossbody on the floor, a tope atomico and a spin kick. Colton was able to save that. We had a double suplex to the Gun Club. Tag to Danhausen. Billy Gunn then low-bridged Eric Redbeard. Austin with the Famouser, and he pins Danhausen for the win. Glad to see the Gun Club winning. Billy was disappointed. He said that he missed the Acclaimed. You need to toughen up, and you got another match next week. Maybe prove yourself there. So I don't know what's happening there, but I mean, if the Gun Club are going to be on TV a little bit more winning, then I think that it could be a pretty decent thing to see. Maybe the Gun Club gets a tag team title match against Swerve and Keith Lee. I definitely love to see that. So we had the Gun Club. They're taking on the Varsity Blondes next week on Dynamite. We then had a promo with Hook. I think everyone in the chat can proudly say that they are a hooker. Hook came out. He was interviewed by Shivani. Hook made it clear that the FTW title is always going to be an open challenge. All of a sudden, Zach Clayton, who was an AEW Dark mainstay, and he's also JWoww's husband from the Jersey Shore, Zach Clayton came out, and he said that he wants to take the FTW championship, but he's doing it next week because he is a Jersey guy, and Jersey guys do things on his terms. I mean, he's not wrong. I'm a Jersey guy. I do things on my fucking terms. Just letting you know. So, we got Hook and Zach Clayton next week for the FTW championship. We also got Swerve and Keith Lee. They're taking on Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And if you're asking why, it's because Private Party, they were told by Andrade that they're going to take the titles. Swerve and Lee graciously accepted it. They're like, you know, listen, we already beat you. We already know we can beat you, but we're going to graciously give you this ass whooping anyway. So that should be a fun match. And then we also got the Trustbusters versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy next week in a Trios Championship Tournament quarterfinal match, which should be great. Cassidy, he was toying with Daivari. Daivari then took control with a neck breaker on the ropes. Coming back from commercial, Cassidy and Daivari hit a double clothesline. Crossbody by Cassidy. Daivari then with an up kick to the gut. Cassidy with a brain buster. Cassidy with a super kick. Daivari with a Uranagi for a 2. All of a sudden, we had Cassidy hitting a satellite DDT, followed up by a diving DDT off the top for a 2. Cassidy then took out Boudreaux with a suicide dive. Daivari then with the cross-arm slam off the top for a 2. Cassidy hit the orange punch, and Cassidy wins. Pretty solid main event right here. And one thing that I really want to point out is Ari Daivari, he's not the best. He's not a guy that's going to be winning world titles, but whatever role that Ari Daivari has been put in, Ari Daivari has fucking excelled at. And that right there is something that should be appreciated. That right there really is something that should be appreciated. Ari Daivari is great in the roles that he's been given. And he put on a damn good match here with Orange Cassidy, so props to him. We got a brawl afterwards. Parker Boudreaux was destroying the Best Friends. All of a sudden, Sonny Kiston came out. He low-blowed Cassidy, and Parker Boudreaux laid him out. So it looks like Sonny Kiss is a member of the Trustbusters. That's not a way that you're going to make anyone care about Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss, you know, I'm not saying that Joey Janela was going to be the world champion. I love Joey Janela, though. And if you're telling me you're finding more value in Sonny Kiss than Joey Janela, I think you may have some mental fucking problems. No one gives a shit about Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss sucks. But the show wasn't terrible, but in terms of must-see, no one's going to go back and rewatch this Rampage, no matter if we had some decent wrestling on the show regardless. But ladies and gents, that's all I got. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash update. We're clocking in at just under 2 hours. Kind of a smaller crowd, a little bit more of an intimate crowd this Saturday, but I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Greatly appreciate you. People, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. You check out the stream on all platforms, social media. Check out all the links in the description as well. Check out the Wrestling Experience from Thursday with me and Earl. Check out the Rewind for Battle of the Belts 3 from Tuesday. Next week, on Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Mitch's channel and the Hardcore Sports channel for the AEW Dynamite Watch Along. It's going to be fun. No LFU next Saturday. I will be back on Saturday the 27th, and we will be back in action for the LFU then. But ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate all of you sticking around. You guys were great from start to finish. My name is DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. And before we get out of here, people, the question that is on everybody's mind, that's always on everyone's mind, and the question that everyone should know, the question that everybody should know, ladies and gentlemen, who runs the IWC? Who runs the IWC? I'll tell ya who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it, people. I'll catch you later.